have a question for the rest of America. Does anyone even care about Nebraska?
They're missing the point. Nebraskans thought that niggas was gonna go back.
He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families. The fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs.
They thought they had the early 1800s back.
Don't nobody give a damn about Nebraska right now. Not a one person. 65% of your workforce was undocumented labor who took care of all of your agricultural needs.
Nebraska is not too happy right now with what's going on in politics. A lot of them now are saying they made a mistake. There's one person that said 300-year-old family ranch is going to go under. 300 years old, that means 1725. There was a private ranch, family ranch out in Nebraska. I wonder what the Native Americans thought about that.
Do you know why birds fly upside down over Nebraska?
No, Granny, I have no idea.
Because it ain't even worth crapping on.
Got it all wrong. Nebraska ain't crying because of what's happening. They are crying because they didn't get exactly what they voted for. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. So remember when the orange man in charge promised that he was gonna help secure black jobs by deporting illegal immigrants? Well, Nebraskans were just fine with that because they thought it meant that the black people would be taking over the ranch and the farm jobs. But now it's everyone and find out season in full effect in the state of Nebraska. They messed around and now they're finding out. In just 6 months, the state of Nebraska could be scrambling towards bankruptcy. And they're mad not because of what's happening, but because they haven't gotten what was promised to them. I want us to watch these videos together, guys. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Gracey D. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel, give this video a like, and let me know what your thoughts are on the comments section. I know everyone has an excuse, especially people from Nebraska that voted Republican of what is happening, and some are even saying that whatever we're seeing on social media is not happening in the state of Nebraska. And it's the people of Nebraska who are coming on social media and giving out these stories on what's happening in their state. I want us to watch these videos together, guys, and I'd love you to tell me what your thoughts or what's your take on this. So let's dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary.
I'm on the who's going to care about Nebraska side of TikTok, or does anybody care about Nebraska? And I'm watching white people like respond to that white woman like, Nebraska didn't care about Nebraska. Who did you think was going to be in those positions of the immigrants you're losing, blah, blah. And they're missing the point. Nebraskans thought that niggas was going to go back. Like they thought they had the early 1800s back. That's what you're not saying. It's not like they didn't think about that. No, they knew, okay, we'll lose our immigrants, but we're going to get our slaves back. And that, my good friends, is the problem.
And in a roundabout way, based on the legislation that Trump is trying to push through, they are exactly right. Trump has created a lot of executive orders centered around giving police officers more power. First, he's trying to push through that police officers have complete immunity in how they perform their job function. Second, he's getting rid of the federal department that actually keeps the police officers in check, that creates a database based on police misconduct that agencies throughout the country refer to when they decide whether or not they're going to hire a cop. And then you have certain jurisdictions that are more than happy to continue to increase the amount of police officers in certain areas. And by certain areas, you know that I mean areas that are more than likely going to have black and brown populations. And so now you have a perfect little soup of police officers with unchecked power who are going to be allowed into the force no matter what their background is. So there's no checks and balances on the broke police officers that are already in service. And then there's no way to stop more officers that have had a bad history from coming back into new agencies and continuing their same behavior within the new agency. And then on top of all of that, you're going to have an increased police force in areas that already are overly represented in the judicial system and in the prison system. And then you mix it all up and you mix it all together, and what you have are slaves. And while we know that the 13th Amendment is the amendment that eradicated slavery here in the United States, they did add that little addendum, that very important addendum at the bottom, that slavery is illegal in all instances except as a punishment for a crime. This country is run by prison labor at this point. There are major institutions that are run primarily by prison labor, and agriculture will be no exception to that. As it currently stands, although the numbers are hard to be certain of, about 10,000 different prisoners actually work in the agricultural field, doing things like tending to bees, raising cattle, picking fruit, all of that. They're already doing that. And those, coincidentally, those folks are actually highly represented in the southern states. And another thing that I actually forgot to mention is how many private prisons that we have. Private prisons who have contracts and nothing but the incentive to fill up their coffers with as many prisoners as they possibly can. So basically what they are creating is a perfect system to keep everything running just as it should. But the public is going to view it as prisoners just having to do the labor and pay for their crime, when in actuality, they are going to over-police Black and brown communities to the point that they are able to fill in the numbers that they are losing from the migrant workforce. And I know that Black people have pretty much checked out on trying to save the U.S., and I get it, but at this point, we really cannot check out on the importance of trying to save U.S., and by U.S., I mean us. They are going to start putting highlights on us, on our children, to try to fill the backlog, and it is imperative that we are doing everything that we can to protect our interests in this situation, because they have zero qualms with pulling us back, and then morally they'll justify it by saying that this is just how they're treating their prisoners. So we have work to do.
It's interesting. Everybody is under the impression that these people want the 1950s back, but what they really long for is the 1850s. You nailed that.
Nebraska is not too happy right now with what's going on in politics, and they're overwhelmingly supported President Trump, but a lot of them now are saying they made a mistake, that a lot of their farms and ranches are looking to not be able to survive because they've lost a lot of their workers, which happen to be a lot of illegal immigrants. Some are getting on Facebook and other media sites and saying that within so many months they're going to be bankrupt. There's one person that said 300-year-old family ranch is going to go under. 300 years old, that means 1725, there was a private ranch, family ranch out in Nebraska. I wonder what the Native Americans thought about that. Yeah, that doesn't make no sense. But a lot of them are saying, we didn't realize that it was going to do this to our state and our economy. Y'all are playing out there. You know exactly what you were doing. And then you bit yourself in the toe. And it's not good. But I'm wishing y'all the best of luck. I hope your state don't go bankrupt. Maybe all the money that President is taking from Illinois, not paying us, maybe he can give it to y'all since you voted for him. I don't know. Just a quick idea. Call up Doge. Or why don't y'all get out there and do the work yourself? Get up there and get to those fields. Curious. All right. Or maybe pay $5 million and you can get some of them immigrants back on that farm. Right? Have a good day. And best of luck to Nebraska.
Well, guys, the first time that I actually came across these videos of Nebraska farmers actually crying and begging the government to come out with better policies that will help immigrants secure jobs, with granting them work visas and residency in the United States of America, I was like, yeah, they messed up and they didn't know. And now I came across this video of this beautiful black queen that was like, you know what, we got it all wrong. Everybody that's reacting or stitching on the video of this Caucasian woman who came to ask if America really do care about Nebraska, they are not getting the question. They are not understanding in deeper what people are actually asking about. So we all know that before the immigrants, like, you know, moved to in the United States of America, these are the people that are working in these farms and the ranches. And you know, before they got these jobs to work in ranches for pennies, back in the days, Black people would do these jobs for free. And it's because they were forced to do these jobs for free, and they had to fight for their freedom. And they had to fight to free themselves from their masters. And this is why in today's world, we see so many European Americans calling Black Americans lazy, or that they just don't want to work, or they are not hardworking. And this is why you find so many people from the Hispanic community are known to be very hardworking. Reason is because they're actually working for minimal wage. The reason is because also these farmers, these millionaires that have these big ranches, that have these big farms, they don't want to pay people for the work that they're doing. So the only way they could do this or to get their work done is employing illegal immigrants who they still went on ahead and voted against them to be deported back to their country because of hate and racism. I mean, racism and hate is quite expensive. And you know, I was actually going through some comments in some of these videos, and you know, I was surprised people were actually saying, even if given another chance, even after what is happening and after how people are actually finding out, they'll still go on ahead and vote for him again. And this is because of, it's not because they like the policies that he actually have, but it's because they want other people to suffer, and because of hatred towards melanated people and people of color. And that's why they vote in without even looking at these policies. As much as they know, you know what, there's gonna be mass deportation, so I don't care. I want these illegal immigrants out of my country. I mean, how are they able to come here and live and work in my country and, you know, get all the taxes and the benefits that they get from the taxes that I pay? And yeah, this is what's happening, and that is why so many are actually finding out, and they cannot believe this. I mean, they voted for these. And like now, Nebraska farmers and businesses are now suffering due to their own voting. Reason is because farms and ranches are losing productivity due to labor shortages. This time as we're talking, because you all have seen that there's been mass deportations, and these people, 65 to 70% of manpower in these farms and ranches actually came from illegal immigrants, that these same people actually voted for them to get deported. And you've seen in different states where ICE agents are going around in people's homes, at offices, in workplaces, trying so hard to, you know, detain all these illegal immigrants so that they can deport them back in their countries. And now people are not showing up to go and work in these farms because they are scared to be detained. They are scared that they might get deported and be separated from their families. And because most of these farmers thought that, you know what, it's only these people that are gonna suffer. There's no way I'm gonna suffer. I mean, I'm a millionaire. I can employ whoever I want and pay them peanuts. I can employ the poor and pay them peanuts. But do you think that there's any citizen in the United States of America who have their documents right and who have the papers to be in the United States of America that wants to work in these jobs that are just paying them peanuts? That was so crazy of them, thinking that they actually get what they voted for, or they actually get what was promised to them. Now coming to think about the orange man in charge promise to save Black jobs, after watching this video, now I'm actually looking at this thing or this promise that he made in another direction, and now I've been trying to digest this, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I not think of it like this? Because I mean, what are the Black jobs in the United States of America? I've seen so many Black doctors, so many great Black surgeons. I've seen so many black accountants that actually, when they get in these fields, they really do excel. They give it their best because they are smart, because they are intelligent. Now, I was thinking, what are really the black jobs that he actually meant? Or what do you guys mean when you say black jobs in the United States of America? Because I totally don't understand it. Do you mean the white collar jobs are only meant for the European Americans in the United States of America when you come up with this statement? Because after he said that, actually so many people doing videos and repeating what he was saying and saying that these illegal immigrants, after they get deported, black people will be able to get back their jobs. Are these the same jobs that you're paying people peanuts? It's because back in the days, during those times in the 1850s, they got use of melanated people doing jobs for free and not paying them anything. So was this what he really meant when he said black jobs? I don't know, but you can tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section. Maybe I'm thinking so deep into this, and it's because of this video that I came across that I just actually started thinking in that direction. And of course, you've also seen in the video of this guy that said that they actually, or they are going to lose on their farm that they have had for 300 years. And I went on ahead and I was doing my own research that what was happening in Nebraska in 1725, the area that is now Nebraska was inhabited by various indigenous tribes, including the Pon, Omaha, Otto, and Lakota. At that time, Nebraska was part of the vast unclaimed territory in the interior of North America, controlled by indigenous nations and occasionally visited by European explorers and traders. Indigenous presence in Nebraska, the Pon were one of the dominant tribes in the region, living in the earth lodge villages along the Platte and Loup rivers. They practiced agriculture, growing corns, beans, and squash, and also engaged in bison hunting. French influence. French traders and explorers, including Etienne and Vineyard Seo, had been exploring the Missouri River and making contact with indigenous tribes in the early 18th century. In 1724, Bourgmont established Fort Orleans in present-day Missouri and sought alliances with local tribes, including those in Nebraska. Spanish interest. While Spain controlled much of the American Southwest, Spanish influence had not yet reached Nebraska in any significant way by 1725. Bison hunting and trade. The region was an important area for bison hunting, which provided clothing and trade goods for indigenous peoples. Some native groups were beginning to trade with Europeans for metal tools, guns, and other goods before the Europeans American came to take over. At this time, Nebraska was still untouched by European settlements and remained a land dominated by indigenous nations with little direct European interference. So I didn't understand, as this guy is saying, this is very unserious, or this family that said that they owned their farm or their ranch for the last 300 years. I mean, it's crazy because we all know that that farm was owned by another family, other Native Americans that they actually took over from and, you know, just decided this is gonna be ours. And I came across this video, guys, and I was like, maybe let me share with you. I would love to hear what your thoughts or what's your take on this on the comment section. Maybe there's others of you who are out there that was actually thinking about this in this direction that this lady actually made me take. Let me know on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part. Kindly consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. And until the next episode, bye.